I'm going to spend a few minutes walking through the Samsung 75-inch 4K BEFX-H Business Pro TV because I know buying a screen that big isn't something you do on a whim. You're probably wondering whether this thing will actually solve your signage needs, if the price makes sense for a business, and whether you'll end up staring at a blank wall or a tool that truly drives engagement. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's cut through the hype and see if the real-world experience lives up to the promise. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have is the sheer size and cost. A 75-inch panel is a serious commitment of wall space and budget, and the Business Pro line is marketed as a digital signage solution, not a living room TV. That distinction matters because the way you'll use it day to day is completely different from binge-watching a series. You'll be uploading static promos, looping videos, maybe a live newsfeed, and you'll expect it to run for hours without any hiccups. If you've never set up a dedicated display before, the learning curve around content management and mounting can feel intimidating. Installation is where the first practical trade-off shows up. The BEFX-H series is designed with a 3-side bezel-less frame, which looks fantastic in a lobby or conference room. But that same sleekness means you have very little room for cables on the front. In practice, you'll want a clean wall mount with a built-in cable channel, or you'll need to route HDMI, power, and any Ethernet or USB connections through the back and hide them with a conduit. The unit itself weighs roughly 90 pounds, so you'll need at least 2 people to lift it safely onto a wall bracket. Once it's up, the mounting points are robust, and the TV sits flush with the wall, giving you that no-frame look you're after. For businesses with a professional AV installer, this isn't a big deal, but a small office handling it themselves should budget for a professional install to avoid a crooked mount or strained cables. Picture quality is where Samsung leans on its consumer reputation, and the 4K UHD panel with HDR does deliver vivid colors and deep contrast. In a bright retail environment, the screen's peak brightness hovers around 350,400 nits, which is respectable but not on par with purpose-built LED signage that can push 1,000 nits or more. In practice, this means if your store has large windows and direct sunlight, you might notice a slight washout on the edges of a static graphic. However, for indoor corridors, conference rooms, or a restaurant bar where ambient light is controlled, the HDR punch makes promotional videos pop, and the 38402160 resolution keeps text crisp even when viewers are standing a few meters back. One of the core selling points is the TV's compatibility with commercial-grade content management systems, CMS. Samsung ships with a basic smart signage app that lets you schedule playlists, but most businesses end up pairing the display with third-party software like Samsung's Magic Info or a cloud-based platform such as Scala. The TV accepts an Ethernet connection and can be controlled over the network, so you can push new content from a laptop without ever touching the remote. In real-world use, the process of linking the TV to your CMS is straightforward if you follow Samsung's setup guide, but the interface isn't as polished as a dedicated signage player. You'll spend a few minutes learning where the content source menu lives, and you might need to reboot the TV after a firmware update before it rejoins the network. Those are minor annoyances, but they add up if you're managing a fleet of dozens of screens. Now, who should actually buy this? If you're a medium-sized company looking to upgrade a lobby display, a hotel wanting a 75-inch welcome screen, or a restaurant that wants a high-impact visual menu board, the BEFX-H checks a lot of boxes. The large screen real estate lets you showcase high-resolution video, seasonal promotions, or even live social media feeds without crowding the message. The sleek bezel-less design also contributes to a modern aesthetic that can reinforce brand perception. For agencies that need a reliable demo unit to pitch to clients, the TV's 4K HDR capability gives a compelling visual reference that standard monitors can't match. On the flip side, you should skip this if you're a small boutique with a tight budget, or if your primary use case is a home theater. The price point for a 75-inch Business Pro model sits well above consumer 4K TVs, and you're paying for the commercial-grade firmware, the ability to integrate with a CMS, and the warranty that businesses expect. If you're only planning to play a looping slideshow in a tiny coffee shop, a lower-cost commercial display or even a large consumer TV would achieve the same result with less financial risk. Likewise, if you need a screen that can run static images 24/7 without any chance of image retention, you might look at a true LED signage panel, because LCD panels like this one can develop mild ghosting over extended periods of